We got news in the Warcraft 3 sphere, and that is coming from a blog post of Blizzard themselves. It's been a long time since we had one of these. And to be fair, the headline is very, very worrying. It says, original Warcraft 3 keys expire on November 21st. That was posted 3 days ago, and it took some time to travel around in the Warcraft universe. It has finally arrived, and let me tell you, don't panic. Everything is all right for the vast majority of the people. The headline is very misleading to, in my opinion at least, because if you scroll down, the paragraph below reads, players who have yet to use the original Warcraft 3 key to access Warcraft 3 Reforged should do so by November 21st before these legacy keys expire. After this date, classic Warcraft 3 keys can no longer be redeemed for access to Warcraft 3 Reforged. What does that even mean? So, since 2009, you can enter your Reign of Chaos and Frozen Throne keys onto the Battle.net website and can download the games from there. That's your original CD key that you had on the manual of the physical copy that you bought 20 years ago. So, it's been 15 years where you could do this, and you probably still can. The thing is, when Reforged came out, the original Warcraft 3 got replaced by Reforged in all aspects. You could only access the Reforged menu, the Reforged multiplayer, etc. There was no more supported legacy Warcraft, and the original client told you to update the game. For licenses, though, if you had a Reign of Chaos key, the original Warcraft 3 key, this key was then automatically converted into a standard Reforged license. So that means you could use the client for free, the Reforged client. You can play the campaign, you can play the multiplayer, you can enable all the quality of life features, especially those that were introduced with like patch 2.0. The only thing that you couldn't use is Reforged graphics. That now includes also classic HD, but if it comes to Reforged graphics, like, is that really a loss? We'll see. So, if you have already entered your Reign of Chaos key into the Battle.net account, for you, nothing will change. You can still play on the classic graphics, you can still access the multiplayer, everything stays as it is. The only people that are affected by this are people who might still have a physical copy of Warcraft 3 in their attic or basement, and didn't activate it yet. That should be a minority, I'd say. And if you didn't do that in the past 15 years, like, is it really that urgent now? If you say yes, well, do it now. You can still activate your key for a month. Unfortunately, this function is a little bit buggy, but here's a workaround by War3 Champions, which is kind of ironic that a third-party server has to tell you how to enable a license for the original game, but let's not talk about that. But it has to be said that the amount of people who didn't activate their keys yet is also non-zero. We have discussions on our channel all the time when we're streaming. Hey, this game looks awesome. I played it 20 years ago. Can I just use my Reign of Chaos key? And we can say yes. You don't have to buy Reforged. Just use your old key and have fun. Play the campaign, enjoy. The entry hurdle will be a lot harder for people who are coming back to the game, especially since the price tag for Reforged is $30. Especially since the standalone Reforged is not really advertised anymore and hard to access actually, because it's now all bundled in the battle chest that is $40 and paired with the Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2 remaster. In comparison, the StarCraft remaster costs $10 and the Diablo 1 costs, what is it? $40 as well. Oh, wow, that is quite expensive as well. Didn't expect that. So yeah, for them, it's just a net loss, and we can't point them towards Reforged anymore. And that is a bit of a shame, because in the past year, we've gotten great upgrades for this game. Classic HD is amazing. The hotkey system is amazing. A lot of quality of life things and stabilization compared to the original Reforged release are really, really good. And some people will unfortunately never experience it that way if the entry hurdle, especially for countries with a lower average income, is that high. So, bit of a shame there. The big question now, of course, from November 21st on, will this make the Reign of Chaos key useless? I say not entirely. While the news reads, legacy keys will be rendered unusable thereafter, a community manager told me you can still download Legacy Reign of Chaos and Frozen Throne from the Blizzard website and use the keys for that. So you can play the single-player original version of the game, but you cannot patch higher than patch 1.32, which is the patch that came with Reforged. And this then only goes for single-player. Multiplayer will not be supported with that client, as it is now. So the headline is very misleading. There isn't an accurate statement about the usability in the text. And then they continue to end this blog post with another shot in the knee, as they say, preserve your legacy. So let's be honest here. This post is probably written by AI, or at least heavily supported by that, as it reads like epic and legendary is always like a sign that AI was introduced. And the AI didn't really do them a good service, because if you think of legacy, there's a little thing to remind them of. The article reads, this is your final chance to ensure your original Warcraft III keys continues its journey into the modern era. Don't let your connection to the world of Azeroth fade away. A connection to the world of Azeroth. Wasn't there something with a connection? Oh yeah! Prior to the Reforged launch, Blizzard promised to save all your achievements and all your records and all your games from your original account for the old Battle.net and convert them into the new Battle.net. There was even a homepage where you enter your credentials and your Battle.net key, and it was supposed to save the stats and apply it. Unfortunately, they never did, and they never applied it to the modern accounts, and probably at this point never will. So when it comes to preserving legacy, Blizzard, little bit of throwing stones in glass houses, is it not? But of course, this begs a fundamental question. Cui bono, and why do it? The most likely explanation, and probably the real reason, is its cost cutting and streamlining. Because there's 3 legacy games, really, 3.5 if you include Heroes of the Storm, but it's mostly StarCraft 1, Warcraft 3, Diablo 2. And all of them got remasters, remakes to a point, right? We got StarCraft Remaster and we got Diablo 2 Resurrected. StarCraft doesn't use the Warcraft system. They made the OG StarCraft free to play when it came out. So you buy the remaster and you get the graphics, but everything else is for free. For Diablo 2, that wasn't the case necessarily. You can only use the remaster if you buy it. Your legacy keys won't bring you far. You can still download the legacy version of that game, but you don't get any additional features, quality of life, graphics, etc. Warcraft was the only game that were using this converter kind of thing. And since it's the only way, and as I mentioned before, this conversion is a bit buggy, it's probably cheaper to just cut it and not fix the problem and streamline it a little bit. Like, it's merging with Microsoft right now, cost cutting is everywhere, and if you can just scratch that off your list, then I guess that's a somewhat reasonable thing to do. Another reason is targeting key generators. Because let's be honest, those functions exist. Key generators exist for Warcraft, and people use them a lot to create Smurf accounts or to circumvent a ban on Battle.net, on War 3 Champions. They just grab a key from shady website or buy them for like $3 or whatever it is and circumvent the ban. And I'm not an expert on technology, but if you ask me, is it more likely that these people who provide these keys or the key generators are exploiting the Reign of Chaos key system or the Reforged key system, I have an answer. It's definitely the Reign of Chaos key system. So if this is reducing the amount of smurfing and ban evasion, that's actually a very good thing for the game, because the filthy people stay out and we're not bothered by them anymore. A third explanation, and this is conspiracy, tinfoil, copium, wishful thinking. It's a preparation for free-to-play for classic Warcraft, just like StarCraft and Brood War have. So activating a copy for the classic version makes no sense if the classic version of the game is free anyway. Then you can just cut that one. Also, Warcraft 3 was not part of the recent Blizzard sale after being included in the summer. So it's not a general thing as it was after the Reforged launch, where Warcraft is never on sale, never on sale. Maybe that's a hint, but I'm not drowning in the copium. I know how unrealistic that is. For this to make sense, there must be another revenue stream somewhere in the works, like cosmetics, like DLC. Otherwise, it makes no sense to make anything free to play, except if you want to increase your player base. But for a corporation, there must be an incentive, and that is money, always. So I would say it's very unlikely. I wouldn't rule it out 100%, but don't get your hopes high. So if you have a Warcraft copy lying around in an attic, in a basement, whatever, you have a month to activate it. Otherwise, it won't activate Reforged anymore. But the main takeaway, don't panic. If you are running your account, if you run Warcraft or War 3 Champions on an old Reign of Chaos key, nothing will change for you and everything stays as it is. Thanks for watching. Take care.